Hello, this is Laura Knight with Friendly Planet Club. This is episode 2 of my interview series, Welcome Guest. And today we have author Tresha Johnson Wilder. I am going to give a brief introduction to who she is, and then we can go ahead and hop into the conversation. So let me read this for you. Tresha loves being a mother to 6 wonderful children and a grandmother to 2 beautiful grandkids. She has written 2 children's books. S is for Sadie, and The Adventures of the Hidden Asthma Triggers. Tresha loves to travel, and she has visited a bucket list of places that I would love to go to, including Puerto Rico. So hopefully we can talk a little bit about that. Tresha, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Well, I have to admit something that I have always had a little Instagram crush on you.
Oh,
I had seen the cover of your book, The Adventures of the Hidden Asthma Triggers, and I was just blown away with the style of illustration that you have on the cover. And when I saw that, I just instantly I gravitated towards it, thinking like, if I was a kid, I want to read it. And it's not like the most adventurous topic for children, but it's an important topic. And I think that it's really great that you just had the idea, the vision to create something so unique. I also just learned too that it's affected your personal life and that it's a story that hits home. Would you care to share a little bit about that and the history and your inspiration for the book?
well, what inspired me to write the book was my mother. She had asthma. And growing up, I seen her struggle a lot of days with her asthma. And she passed away with asthma in 1996. So it was really hard for me and for my family, just watching her go through, her asthma attacks that she would have. So my son, when he turned 6, he was diagnosed with asthma. And it was really devastating for me because I know the effects that asthma can have. But my son looked at me one day at his doctor's appointment and he said, "Mom, it's okay that I have asthma." And so I took that as, it is okay if we get educated about it, if we learn what to do and how to take care of him.
Mhm.
So his doctor, which is Dr. McLaughlin from Nationwide Children's Hospital, was really good with explaining everything to us and teaching Savion and I, how to use his inhaler. So I'm a preschool teacher. So I thought, well, if I can teach my preschoolers and Savion, how to take care of themselves in a fun way. So I decided to write a book about it. And Joel Jackson, which is the illustrator, helped me to come up with some really good illustrations just to teach kids about the lung functions and the importance of taking their inhaler and medication.
I have seen the interior pages of your book, and Joe Jackson did such a beautiful job, um, almost like an animated series where you kind of like dive in and get to meet these really fascinating characters, doctors, nurses, an x-ray technician. How did you envision these drawings to take you through that adventure?
Well, I had to figure out, well, how could I get the children to understand what's going on inside of their lungs and everything? So we were able to have the doctor go inside of Savion, and while he was in there, he was explaining, well, to Savion how the lungs work and the windpipe and everything. And so it was just a really cool book.
Was it a difficult process to almost collaborate with medical professionals to get their input and get the anatomy and the technical terms just right?
No, Savion's doctor was so helpful with everything. I would send him bits and pieces through email, and he would read it and tell me, okay, you need to change this. This is how the lungs work. This is how everything works. And so he was just really helpful with explaining everything to me.
Right. I even learned something about dander when, when listening to your
Yeah.
story online and it's smoke, grassweed, mold. How, as a parent too, because I know that you have 6 children, was it something that you were always on your radar to pay attention to?
Well, yes, because a couple of them suffer from allergies.
Mhm.
So I always had to be aware of, I have one son that's allergic to grass. So those type of things, I have to be careful. Once we cut the grass, he has to stay in and things like that. So yeah, I had to always be cautious of it.
And
Mhm.
I learned that you have had such an amazing voice on this topic from personal experiences that you were invited to Capitol Hill.
Yes, yes. So me and Savion was able to go to Washington, D.C. to speak with members of Congress. Allergy and Asthma Network, they have a really great voice and they're very influential with Congress. Just once a year, they go to Congress in May and they allow me and Savion to come, and we were able to share our story with members of Congress and just talk to them about the different bills, pertaining to allergy and asthma. So it was a great opportunity.
I know that February is Black History Month, and the Allergy and Asthma Network has created an advisory board, which you're part of people to share their professional and personal experiences as a way to educate communities and advocate for greater awareness. Unfortunately, in the United States, a lot of Black Americans and Hispanics and Native American community has really been affected by COVID, where those with asthma are at higher risk to suffer severe COVID symptoms.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Allergy and Asthma Network, they really have a big voice with different communities, just getting the word out about asthma and just making people aware of the triggers.
Right. And I also saw that you reached out to a pharmaceutical company, or they found you, and it expanded into a comic book series.
Yes, yes. Savion is the star in not only my book, but in their book as well. It's called Med Kids. And they have, it's a 3-part series. And Savion goes with some superheroes into the lungs and they explain everything, the lung functions and everything. It was so great that he was able to take a part of that.
Wow, that is really neat. Are you working on any interesting new projects that you are willing to share?
Sure. Well, I have one that's called S is for Sadie, and I'm in the process of getting that on Amazon, so it will become available really soon. And that book is actually about my daughter. I explain all the super S words to describe her, and it's really a cool book. She's a singer, so there's a part in there where she's singing, and
Oh,
it's
that's
a
sweet.
cool book.
That is so sweet. And I also know that, just as a side interest, you love to travel. Who doesn't? Um,
Yes, yes.
and I saw this Instagram post where you actually had like a little van or some sort of road trip around Puerto Rico. Did you do that?
Yes, well, that was actually my son's idea. He has been to Puerto Rico a couple of times, and so he wanted to take me and the rest of our family for my birthday. I got to go, and we visited so many different beaches in Puerto Rico. We really were around the map of Puerto Rico, and it's such a cool, beautiful place to visit.
Wow. How do you have time for all these projects and engagement with community and travel and a large family?
It's really something that I like to do. I like to travel, and I also like to, get the word out about asthma. So we just try to make time as much as we can.
Do
Yes.
you have any advice to somebody out there, maybe who is interested in publishing a book themselves, and how to just start the process?
Yes, a lot of research. There's a lot of things online that you can find to help you, through that process. And that's pretty much what I did. And if you have like a specific topic, finding an expert to help you would be great.
Right, right. And just go for it.
Yes, just
Right.
go for it.
Well, Trisha, thank you so much. And I hope to stay in touch. And definitely, I'll add the links to everything that you're working on in the books.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on your show. Thank you.
Thank you, Trisha. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.